Welcome to Portfolio Stories, Science and Success, a podcast where we explore inspiring journeys, groundbreaking research, and the people shaping the future of science.
Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast Portfolio Stories, Science and Success, where we discuss creative brains, innovative ideas, science and scientists. For today's episode, I'm your host, Ila Joshi, and I'm a neuroscience researcher. With me today, we have Klaudia Kuzdrowska. She is very talented young neuroscience researcher, field biologist, and science communicator. Although in the very beginning of her career, she already holds a one publication where she is a corresponding author. We are going to discuss about it more. But apart from that, she has a lot of interesting hobbies like parachuting, scuba diving, and painting. Not only this, she has work experience from different parts of the world like Lithuania, Poland, and United States. Let's unravel her scientific journey and welcome Klaudia to our episode. How are you feeling?
Hi, Ila. Thank you very much for this introduction. I feel like I should frame it and give it to my parents.
Okay.
It's really nice to be here because
We are glad.
it's a big chance for me, but also it gives me the opportunity to stop and take a look back for what I have been doing. Because,
Wow.
sometimes during this work, you are not focused on this, and it gives me this chance to actually see the story, what was behind.
Very nice. So let's start with a very basic question. What drew you into biology? Or were you very sure from the beginning that you always wanted to be a researcher? Or there were some certain event in your life that motivated you to be in this field?
Actually, there was no like a big moment in my life when I said, yeah, I want to go into biology. It was more like a slow process because I have always been into biology. So I love animals, and since the beginning, I was kind of related to them. So my research topics were also around it. But it's not only about that. I am interested in everything that is connected to biology. So animals, also plants, all the way to human and animals' brain. So when, for example, sometimes my brain sabotage my plans. Like I say, okay, I want to go to the gym, but my brain says, no, actually, this place is also like a good place for personal growth. Then it gave me those questions. How does it work and how to overcome it?
Yeah.
And actually, that moment, I realized that biology gives me those tools, and neuroscience gives me those questions that I want to answer.
Wow, very interesting. You said you have a blend of mixture of different field. Like you have worked in the field of Uganda, jungles of Uganda, I guess, and then you also worked in the lab benches. How did it come together in your life?
I wish I could say that behind it there is like a magic story, how those words merge together. But honestly, I don't. And it's exactly what I like about it. Because after the whole day in the lab, all digging in the Excel files when I'm literally crying, it's good to go outside into the nature and observe animals or work with them. And the opposite is so as true because after the time in the field, when it's rainy, I am all in the mud, and or it's very hot or very cold, I start questioning my life choices. Then it's good to be back to the lab, where I can focus in the dry, calm place, holding a pipette. The brain works differently that moment.
Very interesting. You hold one corresponding publication, right? Tell us more about it. What is it about?
So my first two papers were about tardigrades.
Okay.
It's a small invertebrate that lives actually everywhere around us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an amazing animal because it can survive every condition from the coldest places all the way to the hottest. And And this animal is so unique that they even send it to the space.
Wow, interesting.
Yes.
Did they survive there?
Yes, it's about
Okay.
it because they can survive those. They can survive even without water.
Okay.
It's why it's so amazing about them, and I had the chance to describe a new species.
Oh, wow, very interesting. By the way, do we know why exactly they can survive in harsh condition? What's the reason behind it?
Yes.
Or-
So they can go into anhydrobiosis statement, so like that they stop all the metabolism, and even they are called sleeping beauty because they can stay like that for like 30 years or even more, and after that they can still wake up and start a new life.
Very fascinating. Wow, amazing. Tell us more about your current work. What are you doing? I heard you are a neuroscience researcher, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. So everything actually starts at my studies when I was involved in a big project that
Yeah.
wanted to see how animals' behavior changes during different seasons.
Okay.
And since that moment, I have never stopped. And here I'm also working with animal behavior.
Okay.
But right now it's a little bit more advanced
Uh-huh.
because during my studies we had to note everything by ourselves, and here we have automated behavior tracking when computer does it for us. And it's much better because it's much more sensitive for different behavioral changes, but also it eliminates these humans' mistakes.
Wow, very interesting. Okay, on top of everything, you also help in organizing Science Fest and popularizing science. How do you do that? Like, what are the projects you have worked on so far?
Actually, it started when I was at my first year of bachelor studies, when we wanted to join a student club that was connected somehow to mammals. But we found out that there was no, and we decided to create one.
Okay.
And in the beginning, we didn't have many ideas what to do, so
Yeah.
we started with teaching.
Okay.
We took part in different events that promote science, and after we were also going to different schools, and like that, I knew that whenever you talk to a person that actually talks about science
Yeah.
with passion,
Yeah.
it's much easier to like it. And especially for young people who still try to figure things out in their life. So I thought if I can help them,
Yeah.
even just for a few seconds,
Yeah.
I'm going for it.
Also, I will bit divert the topic. I will go more to your personal hobbies.
Sure.
I was also reading that you are interested in scuba diving, parachuting, and also you do painting. How does all these hobbies come together for a scientist? How do you see them? Do they motivate you to do science, or does your science have made you more creative because of the exposure that you had so far?
So as you mentioned, I'm interested into extreme sports like parachuting, scuba diving. I like skiing as well.
Wow.
And during those moments, it's much easier to think and to give the space for brain to analyze everything that I'm doing, and also those moments kind of taught me flexibility. It reflects my my adventure seeking. So I think that maybe it doesn't really reflect my scientist work, but it kind of shape a person I am here. So they help me for sure.
And how do you balance your hobbies with the workload? Because usually people think, oh, scientists are always nerd, right?
I ask myself the same question.
Yeah.
Yeah, the day has just 24 hours. That's true. It's not always easy, but somehow whenever I have a free moment,
Yeah.
3 minutes, and I can do something like that that actually relax me and give me a little breath from what I'm doing here, I'm using it.
Okay, also in so far of your career, you have a lot of experience in different part of the world. Like you were working in Poland, then you moved to Lithuania and the United States. How does this experience has shaped you as a scientist?
For sure, it shaped a lot, and it had a big impact for my life. So in Lithuania, I studied for more or less 6 months when I had this opportunity to see different labs, especially outside Poland. So I could see different approaches, and it also showed me that in science there is no like a good and worse or like good and better approach, but actually they are different, and all together they give this big overview. And working in the US taught me a lot. It's a different world from
Yeah.
our different culture, and it gave me a lot of like communication skills and also time management. So since that experience, I think that my life is much better organized.
Wow, you have very well said there is no good and bad approach, right? At the end, everything comes together for something. So, how do you see yourself in the near future? What kind of problem or project you would like to work on?
It's a big question. In general, my life is shaped by people I meet on the way,
Yeah.
and also the opportunities I am given, and what I do, I'm trying to use that. So it's my goal for the nearest future. I'm trying to use the opportunities that I have here.
Yeah.
And for sure, my work will always be related to neuroscience, to behavior, and to animals that I really love. So my PhD, nearest PhD project should be related to that. Also, I don't try to make a plan step by step because I want to give this room for chaos and bit of curiosity. Like that is always a bit funnier.
Yeah, very well said. Okay, so before I wrap it up, I have a very hypothetical question to you. What kind of myth you want to debunk about science and the scientist?
I think that the biggest myth that comes to my mind right now is that people think that people working in science know everything.
Yeah.
It's not true, because if we knew everything, there would be nothing for us to discover, right?
Yeah.
So science is not about knowing everything, but it's about these parts that we don't know and we're trying to answer.
True, very true. Okay, Claudia, we also have a very small session where we discuss with researcher and our guest, whoever comes here, their likes and dislikes. This is there are a bunch of questions I will ask you. You have to just say you prefer this or that.
Okay, sure.
So shall we start?
Of course.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Poster presentation, oral presentation?
Poster.
I would go with oral. Western blot or IHC? IHC, immunohistochemistry.
Oh, can I choose no?
I would also
PCR.
choose none.
Going for PCR.
Yeah. Beer after a long day or fresh juice during a writing sprint?
Fresh juice.
Writing a grant or reviewing a paper?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe writing.
Mouse model or cell culture?
Mouse.
Conference networking or quiet time at the bench?
Conference.
Real-time PCR or RNA-seq question? Favorite question for you?
And what was the second?
Real-time PCR or RNA-seq? RNA sequencing.
Real time.
Early mornings in the lab or late night analyzing data?
Both.
No, it's not good. First author paper or a successful funding application?
Finding application.
Very nice. So this was our last round for this podcast. Thank you so much, Claudia, for your time. We learned a lot with you. I wish you all the very best of whatever you do in your life. And thank you, audience, for watching us. If you like this episode, please share with your friends and family. And if you wish to see more such kind of episode and you have some suggestion, do write in the comment section. Thank you.
Thank you for watching and see you in the next episodes.